Hello, beautiful people. It's Antonella Bargione, your heart healer, and today I want to talk to you about the power of emotions. This is a subject that I've been teaching, working with for the past at least 20 years. And although now I can flow within emotions like these two fish do, and I gave you today one of the most colorful, strong, bombastic background ever you're gonna find in my videos. Just because emotions are like that. Have you ever seen a child? They go from tantrum to laughter in 30 seconds because did you know that an entire cycle of an emotion is actually 90 seconds? So it's like watching the clouds passing by and the sun comes back, and more clouds and more sun. So it's like a dance. But because we don't know how to deal with that energy that strong emotion can bring us, we fight, we resist, and whatever, as you know, whatever we resist persists. So we're not satisfied with that. So what do? We suppress them. And suppress today, suppress tomorrow, suppress over and over again. We find ourselves to numb, to become numb. And what happens is that actually we start to live in the middle band. Not too high, too happy, too visual, too wow, 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 wow emotions, and not too low, the deep, the sorrow, the my God, what happened, the drama we all go through in different ways. So we stay and we play safe. Where do we play safe? Middle band. Nothing too high, nothing too low. And that's the result of numbness. But what we do is that actually we numb all those emotions that make our life a full life. We numb joy, we numb happiness, we numb unconditional love, we numb trust, we numb so many other emotions. And then my question is it really worth? I've done that for aeons of resisting and numbing until one day I received one session, and what came out for me was that there was a vow in place that I did when I was probably 8 that set me up for this choice. And this is how the story goes. So when I was a kid, I had 2 siblings, both of them older than me. And my brother actually was quite older than me because we were 8 years apart. So I was 8, he was 16, maybe 7 even, was 15. So you can imagine the power of a 15-year-old boy with all the hormones and all the changes in his life. So what he would do almost daily, this is at least what I remember, maybe you would have another version, but it doesn't matter because this is the way I perceived it, and it happened actually. He would ambush me and tickle me to death. Believe me, it was a torture. It was a torture. I loved him to bit, but I knew that when that thing would snap in him, that was time to run away. And sometimes I would succeed, sometimes I wouldn't. And when it would tickle me, it was really torture. Until one day I decided from now on, I won't feel anything anymore. And that was a vow. And vow happened in a fraction of a second. They can be spoken words or just thought or a vision. And when that is done, all your cells from then on will make sure that the vow is going to be in place. So there will be lots of your energy invested in maintaining that vow alive. Well, that vow at the time, it really worked wonders, because I think it took maybe 2 days for him to leave me in peace. He could tickle under my feet, and I would really feel nothing, which was like a surprise to me. Oh my gosh, this thing worked. But then what happened? I grew up. And although that vow did its service, it wasn't serving me anymore, because I lived all my life, or most of my life, until I transformed that vow. I let go of that vow to in this middle band. I was almost numb to anything. And it also helped me to put weight on as well, because the weight works as a buffer, great buffer to feel, for feelings. So, emotions. Emotions are a good thing. Emotion per se show us that we are alive. Is how we are designed. That's why it's so important to get to know them, not to be scared of them, to trust that if we allow them to express themselves, they'll just transform in a very short time, because it's just shifting of energy. While instead, if we suppress them, then we're going to deal with them. It's like sweeping the rubbish under the carpet. So it's there, nobody sees it, but then they start to fester. And later on in life, what happens? They can also become a cellular memory that are not resolved, and they can create an illness or different patterns, negative patterns, bad habits that we don't want. And I will talk about that in another video. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave me some comment below, and so that we can keep the conversation going. And also ask yourself today, what is the emotion that I most resist in my life? What is it? Is it rage? Is it fear? Is it a sense of unworthiness? What is it? Just check with yourself. Do a tune in and see what's the answer. And maybe you want to share it below, and we can talk about it. So again, once again, thank you very much. Here it's Antonella Bargione. I'm your heart healer, and see you again soon. Bye.